Welcome back to Old Painter Man. I am the Old Painter Man. This is painting the Old Painter Man. This week we're going to be painting the Ronin Predator from Predator Killer of Killers. This model was made by Doom Labs 3D, and this one I'm painting on a private commission. It's my first one that I've done here on the channel, which is kind of exciting. I did not print this model because this model is over 26 inches tall, and there's absolutely no way I could have printed some of these pieces. They are massive. There was a fair amount of prep that I had to do on this, but got to knocking all that out, and then we're going to start in on primer. Today's video we're going to go over weathering metallics, painting worn leather, brush and airbrush blending, sponge blending highlights, makeup sponges for blending oil washes, and adding ground texture for basing. See, that's all one piece right there. That thing is completely massive. Like I said, there's no way I could have printed that. So let's go through with the black primer, and then I'll go through with a silver. This is a really basic metallic recipe. Just gonna go with a dark silver, steel, and then silver. Steel and silver will both be dry brushes with the dark silver as the base. Real simple stuff, but there's a few steps in there as well that I do to add some texture and add some age to this. If you're not familiar with the movie, Predator Killer of Killers, one, I highly recommend it. It's awesome. It is an animated movie. It's on Hulu currently, I believe. What the customer wanted was to make a realistic rendition of the cartoon character, right? So I'm doing kind of in the middle. This isn't going to be full cartoon and not full realism, but definitely leaning more on realism than the cartoon side. And you'll see that going forward. As I get my metallics laid out, there's a whole bunch of these little pouches that go on his pants and other metallic pieces all over this model for the armor. I'm just going to put on a Resin Flesh Shade wash, and then I'll take a sponge and dab off all the extra to give me this kind of blotchy sort of finish on it. Again, just adding a texture. I don't want everything to be super smooth. I show where I'm doing this with a Resin Flesh Shade. After all this dries, I do the exact same thing with Nuln Oil. I didn't figure I probably needed to show both because it's the exact same process. And then I'll go through, and again, I'm just hitting it with some dry brushes. I want to add streaking. I want to add just a lot of age and wear and tear to all of this. For the pants, just going to hit it with a really dark green base coat. Then I'll start putting in my highlights. Just aiming for the edges and all the raised areas. I'm not wanting it to be real bright, but I do want there to be some depth and some movement to it. Just building those up nice and slow, like I always do. Using that Gallery Seeker airbrush, that thing is pretty impressive. I'm a big fan. I know I mentioned it last week, but I do really like that airbrush a lot. So now I'm going to take a sponge, and I'm going to start sponging on my brightest highlights. Using a sponge because I want there to be texture, right? There's already texture on the pants. I want to really emphasize that texture. I want it to stand out. I don't want these to look 2D. I don't want it to look smooth. I'm trying to add a little bit of realism to this. And at this scale, you can get pretty crazy with the textures that you add because this, like I said, this thing is over 2 feet tall. This is the size of a toddler. It's technically quarter scale because he's so tall normally, but this is in the size range of a 3rd scale model. It's massive. So I already had a black base coat on all the skirt area. Now I'm going through some dark browns and it's hitting all the raised edges there and trying to leave that really dark area as my shadows. I go through in a couple more passes with slightly lighter colors just to get closer to the edges. Get a quick base coat on these leather straps. On this model, there's a bunch of leather straps. I tried to do some in green, some in brown. I didn't want it to all be one color. I wanted to kind of break it up a little bit. So I went with brown on the pants and brown on one of the wrists. You'll see that later. I'm just going in, just sponging in those highlights. And I'm going to catch all the edges of those leather straps. Now I just go through and add texture. So I want these to look like worn leather straps. If you've seen worn leather, it gets all kind of crunchy looking, has a bunch of scratches and cracks in it. That's what I'm trying to mimic here. I do a couple passes here, the yellowy brown. And then I'll go through and just glaze on another brown on top of that to make it stand out a little bit better. I don't want it to be the exact same color as the kilt. I want it to stand out a little bit from that. Now we're just going to primer the hands and the chest piece and kind of everything else. These pieces are big. There's a lot to work through here. Kind of jumping ahead here a little bit. I went and I used sand primer on the fleshy areas, and now I'm just putting a brown oil wash on top of that. I'm just wanting to really establish my shadows and establish those textures. This is one part of the model where there are some textures sculpted in is on the skin, so I want to really lean into that. So I'm getting that brown wash all over, and then I'll go through with a makeup sponge with a little bit of white spirit on it and take off all the excess. Just cleaning off the raised edges and trying to leave the deeper recesses with that brown in it. And it just kind of tints everything for me as well. Just puts that brown filter on top of all the flesh. You can see you get some really nice blends and transitions just using those makeup sponges. They're great. Now just to tint the skin and give a little bit of interest to it, I'm using Shadow Flesh one-step paint, a purple one-step paint, and a magenta wash. And I'm just airbrushing those in, again, just to give some interest so it isn't all one big lump of brown. Looking at a lot of the Predator artwork, not necessarily this Predator, this one was just kind of a big lump of brown, but the client and I talked about it, and yeah, we didn't want it to just look like that. Wanted to add a little bit of visual interest. So I looked at some older Predator color schemes and borrowed from those a little bit. And this is all just underpainting on the face, basically. I'm going to go through and put detail on top of this. I just want to start with an interesting base. That's where we're at right now. I hit everything with a gloss coat, let it sit overnight, and now we're going back in. So start dry brushing the metallics on the leg armor. Do the same thing on the chest and everything else. So there's a lot of armor on this. And I'm going to brush in my extreme highlights, where everything's going to be the brightest. I'm just going to go through with a brush and put all that in. I'm using an olive flesh here, knowing that I'm going to blend all this in with a brush and also an airbrush, just to smooth that out some. But I do want to, again, building up texture. You're going to hear me use the word texture 500 times today, and I apologize for that. That's like the word for the day. Every time I say it, yay. As usual, I have no game plan going in here. I'm just charging forward until I like what it looks like. So you'll see me go over some steps that I did earlier, because again, I have no idea what I'm doing, which is part of the fun. So now I'm adding a bajillion little scratches and dots all over the place. I know the owner of this model is mainly going to be using the other head sculpt that has the armor on it, but I had this one here. I want to go ahead and make it look cool, because in the renderings, this is probably the least cool part of this entire model. So I was like, if I can make this cool, I can make anything cool. Dots and dots and more dots, more dots, more dots. But really, I'm just using 3 colors here. There's 3 colors that I picked for his skin, which is going to be a dark flesh, a brown, I'll have the color listed, and then an olive flesh. And those are the 3 colors I'm using. That's it. And I'm blending those together and just using different variations of those 3 colors. I'll go through and blend it with the Shadow Flesh, with the Shadow Flesh one-step paint and with a little bit of purple. But those are my 3 main skin colors. So I know as long as I use those 3, it's never going to look out of place. There we go. Now I'm just glazing those colors in and kind of blending them in a little bit. And then I'll airbrush it and blend it in a little bit. Don't want to go too heavy on this because I just spent all that time putting that texture on there, but I do want to blend it in so it doesn't stand out quite as bad. Paint all the little face quills. I do go through and highlight all those individually. And now we have the green leather. I'm guessing it's leather? I don't know. It looks leathery. So I painted all the dark green, then I go through with a brown and put that on all the recesses. Just trying to give a little bit of shape to this and make it interesting looking. This isn't a real visible piece anyways, but when there's details, I'm gonna detail them. I go through with the darker brown, put that in the extreme recess. I'll go through with a lighter green and pick out the extreme highlights. That way I've got a real nice separation between the high point and the low point. So you can tell exactly how it's moving. Glaze in a little bit of green just to blend everything together. And I do this on all of the green leather pieces that are on the whole model. I just, I'm only showing this one because it's the same thing on all of them. Then I'm glazing in a different green just to give a little bit of visual interest, so it isn't just the same color green everywhere. With a little digital readout, go through with some transparent red first in the background to give it a little bit of a glow effect. And then a brighter red on top of that just to pick out the actual little symbols. I do take an orange red that I forgot to show, but I do take an orange red and just pick out the extreme highlights on that as well. Now a Nuln oil wash. And do the same thing, just sponging it off. I had already done the Resin flesh shade on there, so now I'm just doing the black. Now we'll start putting highlights back in, trying to catch all the edges and catch all the upward facing parts where they reflect the sunlight the most. The hair was very smooth, and these are supposed to be more of like a dreadlock type hairs, what they've always shown in the movies. So I just went through and painted a whole bunch of texture. And again, I'm keeping in mind the source material, right? If you have seen this, you know that the animation style is kind of like a K-pop Demon Hunter Into the Spider-Verse type animation that's scratchy CGI. So that's what I'm really leaning into here. A bunch of scratches in a darker blue, then I'll use a slightly lighter blue-green. So I do like the whole thing in the dark blue and 2/3 of it in the blue-green. And then I make this highlight color, and that's like the top third. So it looks like it's highlighted towards the top. And I've got this brown leather strap here, and I was trying to really age this, painting in all these little scratches and worn marks. It's always nice to have a little photo reference when you're doing something like this, just to give you a little bit of inspiration. Then a slightly lighter brown. That dries darker than it looks right there. So one thing about all the monument colors, they definitely dry darker than they go on. You have to kind of get used to that a little bit. And just glaze it in a brown to blend everything together. For the handle of the katana, went through and painted all the little bumps that would be on the ray skin, or shark skin, but traditionally it's ray skin. The Samigawa, I believe, of the katana. Now we're on to oil washes. So I want to really weather this. I've watched a lot of weathering videos from AK Interactive, also from Lincoln Wright. If you haven't ever watched any of his video, he paints a lot of Machine and Krieger on YouTube. Absolutely love his videos. And really the name of the game is just layers. Layers on top of layers on top of layers. And that's how you get a really realistic looking weathering. So I've already done the Resin flesh shade and the Nuln oil. I've dry brushed on top of that. Now I'm going back in with a muddy brown, putting that on here as well, just to get some variation of tone. I just blend everything in with that makeup sponge. I do go through the same thing with black in a few places as well. I'm also reinforcing my shadows with that black oil wash because I can get really nice blends. And it doesn't dry nearly as dark as it looks right there. You have to kind of get used to that too. There, just dabbing a little bit of black on there, and then I'll take this scratchy beat up brush and just kind of rub it on there where I want it. Rubbing it on like this gives it a little bit of a texture when it dries. Visual texture, not a tactile texture. So yeah, really that whole model is just a few straps, a whole lot of armor, and some flesh. It's just really, really big, and there's a lot of it. The faces are definitely the hardest part just because you're kind of making up detail. From here, it's time for the giant base. This thing is massive. That is 2 pieces with a big old seam down the middle that I got to fill in. So I mixed up all the texture paint that I had and just going through. This had a very, very smooth finish to it because, again, it's based off the cartoon. I'm trying to get a little bit of realism. So I add that texture effect paint to the bottom. Then I mixed up some small gravel, some Elmer's glue, and a little bit of water. I'm going through and putting that everywhere. I want it to look like a riverbed floor, basically. It's kind of what I'm going for. I guess the floor is the riverbed. So I'm putting dry pigments on the raised areas because those will dry looking. I'm just painting these little leaves. They remind me of like a water lily. I don't know what they're supposed to be, but that's what it reminded me of. I'm just wet blending this right on top of the leaves. Just that regular green for all the shadows. This lighter green in here, just hitting the raised areas, leaving the shadows. While that's drying, I'm gonna hit these rocks real quick with a darker gray. Then I'll hit that with a medium gray. And then I'll do a light gray here in a minute as well. So now that's nice and dry, so I've got a brighter yellow green. I'm just hitting the most raised edges there. I'm going for super realistic. This is, you know, animated reference art, so I'm kind of going in the middle there. So I mixed up a little bit of contrast paint into some clear resin, poured that on top where I wanted it, put it out in the sun, let it dry. I did test that first to make sure the contrast paint would work with it, and it worked fine. So I did a wet mud enamel paint on the top there from AK, and then a brown oil wash to kind of blend all that together. And there we go. Here's our Ronin Predator. This is way too big to photograph in my light box, so this is my backyard. Enjoy. The dog probably makes an appearance at some point. But here he is. This thing was interesting. It's a much different experience than a lot of the paint jobs I've been doing. A lot of times I'm just really kind of, it's like a coloring book almost. They're super detailed, all the details in there already. I'm just picking those details out. On this, there's a lot of detail I got to create, which is a lot of fun. It is different than what I normally do, and that always makes it interesting. So hopefully you found it interesting as well. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed, hit the like button, left me comments down below. You guys are all amazing. I appreciate every single one of you. If you'd like to help support the channel, please check out my Patreon, Old Painter Man, and help keep the channel alive. We're approaching 3,000 subscribers, which is awesome. You guys are great. This is way faster than I ever thought I'd be getting this high. I'm gonna do a live stream here soon for my Patreon members, where I'm just gonna paint a portrait from start to finish. If you'd like to get in on that, please check out my Patreon, oldpainterman.com. That's it for this week. Sorry this one took so long. This is just a great big model, and it took me a while. So until next time, get off my lawn.